What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Two Friends Talking. I'm Chase. This is my co-host Ricky, and this is our weekly podcast where we talk about all things sports, fantasy football, and just have a good time for the next 30, 45 minutes. Now, look, my friends, tonight we're going to have a moment to say goodbye. Ricky has had his computer for the last 7 years. And
Yeah,
today
7, 8 years, something like that.
will be the last one. He gets his new one tomorrow. Ricky, you want to talk to us about a little bit about that? How excited you are? Some emotions you're feeling right now?
I'm very excited. It's kind of bittersweet getting rid of this thing because, I couldn't imagine not having this computer anymore. I imagine you felt the same way when you got rid of yours. You're like,
I was like, kick that piece of shit to the curb, baby. We're upgrading.
It's like, this thing, $1,200 on it is what I spent. I'm pretty sure at the time, and it's done almost 7, 8 years worth of work for me. So I'd say that's pretty worth it. This next one, hopefully it lasts another 15 years because it's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but look, some pretty good games. We had a friend that went to the Thursday night game last week, the Snow Globe game, and
that was pretty cool.
He sent us a video from there, and that was crazy. Like, it looked like you were inside of a snow globe, which was pretty sweet. But I was seeing already on Twitter, they were saying there's probably going to be another snow game this week with Buffalo and San Francisco. There's expected to be a ton of snow, which is awesome because I love a snow game.
I love seeing Bills Mafia out in the snow.
Yep.
The Bills Mafia is just the best.
I love snow games and I love rain games. And that was one thing growing up. We never really even got to play in any rain games.
Yeah, we had rain practices.
Yeah,
but
we had rain practices and we had rain games as like kids. But once we got into high school, we didn't, and we always wanted there to be, but there never was, which was unfortunate. But
I think we're gonna toss it to you first this week on the FanDuel because I don't even want to talk about my team. Look, well it did.
A couple bad things this week. Not great for either of us. But to start, we finished at 93. And look, there was a lot of factors that went into this week that were unexpected. Okay, Baker put up almost 19. He had a pretty solid game, actually. He had a rushing touchdown, which was nice. James Conner, hit
the bed.
I would not have thunk when I picked him that James Conner would only have 7 carries for 8 yards.
Yeah.
That's his season low in both of those stats. Just shocking. Kareem Hunt, look, he just didn't score any touchdowns. That game was close, like we called it.
Yeah.
They just didn't run the ball that much, and he didn't score a touchdown. If he scores a rushing touchdown, he's at like 16 points, and it's like, that's a pretty solid week. Slicky Ricky, 0 points. Don't really know what happened there. When Brock Purdy got announced out Sunday morning or Saturday evening, whatever time it was, I should have made some adjustments, but I said, you know what, I'm going to stick with my guns. Shouldn't have, because you got 0 points.
Yeah, and Jalen Waddle there went off for you.
Yeah, but before then, Jerry Jeudy, see, this is where it's tough with it only being half PPR. His 6 catches, 85 yards. In our regular league, that would be 14.5 points, which is not bad. Solid, but he was cheap, so almost 12 points. We'll take that. Yeah, Jalen Waddle, they've been writing him off, but we didn't write back. I finally knew he was going to pop off, and 8 catches, 144 yards, and a touchdown. That's what we like. But Cade Otton, this is twice now that he's let me down, so we have officially given him the boot. He's dead to me.
He'll never be picked again?
Nope. Although I almost picked him again this week, but we didn't. And this is the biggest surpriser to me. I don't think anybody would have projected Justin Jefferson to have 2 catches, right? It was the Aaron Jones, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson game on Sunday for the Vikings. And look, sometimes everybody else has got to eat. They could play again this week, and JJ goes off for 200. It's just the way it goes. And then the Cardinals defense, they actually did great. They put up 11 points. No complaints there. But unfortunately, it's tough to win hard when you have 1, 2, 3, 4 single-digit scores.
Yeah, it's hard to get less than 93 points. Some would say downright impressive.
Yeah. Pretty shocking. But how did you do this week?
I had 72.5 points.
That's That's a season low for either of us.
Yeah, this was bad. I mean, Kyler didn't do anything. Austin Eckler got knocked out. James Conner also didn't do shit. Jawan Jennings didn't do anything. Amon-Ra, nothing. My best receiver was Vele, the one we made fun of. And he was my cheapest one. 6 catches, 80 yards. You take that every time with a receiver who cost you like 4,500.
Yeah, that's good value.
Trey McBride still feasting as a tight end.
Still doesn't have a
touchdown. Insane. Christian Watson, bust. I'll never use him again. New York Giants, bust. Won't use them again, except for probably will use them again this week because I think they were cheap. I can't remember if I did or not. But all in all, just a bad week. The only player who performed up to expectation was McBride. Vele, I would say, exceeded my expectations. I just was hoping he'd get a touchdown in there, but 80 yards on 6 catches, that's pretty good. Can't go wrong with that.
He was like accountable for like 15% of your points.
Yeah, unfortunately. Just a bad week overall for us after me placing pretty high last week. Bounce back week here. Got to have a bounce back week.
I think this was a trap week for both of us.
Yeah.
It was a trap week.
We didn't play to the expectation that we should have.
Nope. But look, I gotta tell you, going into this week.
Yeah, you sent me a text saying you love your team.
Love my lineup. Okay, like this might be the best lineup of the year for me. All right, so let me show you what I got here. Okay.
Is Darnold gonna play?
Yeah, he's healthy. He's fine.
I thought he got hurt.
No, he came back in. He just got like rolled up on. But look,
gotcha.
There's 2 question marks here. But other than that, these are all bangers. Okay, look, Sam Darnold came off another great game. His fourth quarter and overtime, he was lights out. TJ Hawkinson eclipsed 100 yards for the first time last game and was a stud. Still doesn't have a touchdown yet, but Arizona's defense they put up 11 points from it last week, but they're not the greatest, okay? Vikings have been good. They just can't blow teams out, but I think, there's rumors of the Vikings maybe being interested in Daniel Jones, and you know who that's going to motivate? Sam Darnold. Got to keep the Wolves away. Got to protect his position. I think he comes balls out this week.
Interesting.
Running back, this guy has been an animal all year long. Surely there is no way he does not have a good game this week. Chicago's defense sucks. Chicago's rush defense specifically sucks. Jahmyr Gibbs should feast. And if
David
Montgomery steals touchdowns from Gibbs this week, I'm going to be pissed. Staying in the NFC North, Josh Jacobs, good matchup against Miami. Miami's defense, not great. Josh Jacobs has had a solid, decent year. Look, last time I picked him in my lineup, he did well for me. I like him.
He had a great year, actually.
Yeah, I like him. I like my running backs a lot. We're rolling with it. Now, the receiver position is the talk of redemption. Okay? Starvin Marvin, he's had highs, he's had lows. He's put up 30 points. He's put up 0 points. I think this week is the week he has a good game. Minnesota's secondary has given up receptions and given up big games to wide receivers. They just still win football games and they get pressure. I think Starvin Marvin is going to not be starving. I think he's going to get fed and he's going to feast on Sunday. They're still going to lose the game, but I think he's going to have a good game. And for $6,900, cheap, that's good value. This guy right here, Quentin Johnson, he's the talk of the town. This guy,
Mr. Drops.
They say this guy couldn't catch a cold if it hit him in the face.
Yeah.
He couldn't catch the ocean if he fell out of a boat. I don't think that's a saying. But he had 3 drops Monday night. And everybody's talking shit about him. I think he comes back this week. He says, you know what? I've put up 30 points this season for a reason. 1 game, I think. I'm going to do it again. But yeah, so look, I think he bounces back this week. I think he has a good game. So he also has not put up 30 points, but he put up 19 points before. I think he proves the haters wrong this week. Here in the receiver 3 position, this is a guy, he started off really good at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, Mr. London.
And has started to taper off and not put up some good performances. But I think the buck stops here. Chargers, they actually have a good defense. But I think Drake London, I think Kirk Cousins, they got to get something started because the Falcons they're not looking great these last few weeks. I think they start to turn it over here, and that starts with receiver 1 in that offense. We're going back to my boy here at tight end. We got the stack with Darnold and Hockenson coming off his best game of the season, best game since his injury last week. He's a third down conversion machine. I like him here against Arizona. I don't think their defense is that great. I don't think they have anybody that can cover him. Unless they do.
That's gonna be the tight end bowl right there.
Yeah.
McBride and Hockenson.
So I like TJ here a lot. We're rolling with him. My flex is a little bit of a
bust.
I like ETN still, and he's their number 1 running back. And Bigsby hasn't been good in recent weeks. ETN is finally back, fully healthy, I think, and they're playing against Houston, whose run defense has been atrocious. In fact, you have said that multiple times, because that was your strategy to just pick the running backs that faced them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stealing that here, and this is the week it works. And then lastly, defense. Don't look into this any further than I only had 3,000 left, and I'm more so picking against Tampa than for Carolina because
can you get negative points in this?
I believe so, but I have faith that the Panthers defense shows up this week. They played a good game against the Chiefs last week. This is a winnable game for the Panthers. So I'm taking them. That's my lineup. I like it a lot. I have a lot of confidence in this team. I think there's no way we don't finish in the money this week.
Interesting.
So let's see what you
looking
got.
at my lineup, I'm pretty happy with it too. I'm going with Shake and Bake here at the top, facing Carolina. Baker cooks his competition, and he's going to cook the Panthers.
Okay, fair.
Jonathan Taylor. I don't know. I just feel like it's been a little quiet for him recently, and it's time for him to get some touchdowns and get another 100-yard game.
Because he's got a quarterback that can't complete more than 10 passes a game.
This is true. Been kind of quiet the last few weeks here. So I'm looking for something in this range. Not something in this range. We'll see what happens. He's healthy right now.
We'll split the middle.
A big game from him. See, I got Bucky Irving here. He had a big game this past week.
Yeah,
I think it continues. He's had 2 good weeks in a row. I think he builds on it. I think he's gonna start taking over the majority of the carries in that offense.
Not
going against a terrible Carolina team.
Not if that Smash Mouth Panthers defense has anything to say about it.
Yeah, the Smash Mouth Panthers defense who give up the most points to running backs in the league.
The buck stops here.
I got Terry McLaurin against Tennessee. I think he's really had a down last 4 weeks.
Except for last week.
He had 1 catch for 86 yards for a touchdown in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So if you look at that, he has not had a great few weeks. I think he's going to start. They're not targeting him. He's getting the 4th most targets in the offense right now. They're going to have to rectify that if they're going to start winning games because they've lost 4 straight or something like that, 3 or 4 straight. And it's because they're not targeting Terry McLaurin. I'm going with the Marvin Harrison Jr. too. He's got to bounce back. Minnesota's pass defense is not great. They just got to score. And you'll see I got 3.
You're not going with
Arizona.
Your boy Tyler again.
I almost did, but I just had to get the shake and bake in there. I had to do it. So I got Marvin Harrison Jr. because Minnesota's defense not great against the pass, according to this. Brian Thomas Jr. Been quiet few weeks for him. He's a stud. I don't think Houston's secondary is all that good, and he's a beast. He's due for another big game. I think it was McConkey and Brock Bowers have passed him in yards when he was leading all season. He needs to make a reemergence, redemption. Trey McBride in the tight end bowl. This is the week. He's got to get a touchdown. Him and Hockenson combined for 3 tutties.
I'll make that deal.
What?
Hockenson gets all 3 and McBride gets 0.
They're all going to McBride. And you'll see right here, 4,900. Very cheap.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Dortch.
What's the most points he scored this season in a game?
You don't want to know.
I think you don't want to know.
Evidently 8.1.
Hey, for 4,900, that's pretty good value.
I'm betting he gets behind the defense and scores a big one here. That's my bet.
I have a feeling that all 3 of the Cardinals players you picked are going to have busts this week.
Probably. I didn't really even recognize I did that until I saw Greg Dortch here was also Arizona, but I had 4,900. I didn't have very many options.
You got to work with what you got.
Got to work with what you got, and he's the only name I had remotely even heard of when I was looking through them. And then I went with the Atlanta Falcons defense against the Chargers. Falcons defense isn't terrible. The Chargers don't put up a ton of points. Kind of my thought process. We'll see if that happens. I don't know.
It makes sense. I think it makes sense.
All in all, this is a very, very boom or bust team. Brian Thomas Jr. is a big catch merchant. Harrison Jr., big catch merchant. McBride never scores touchdowns. Dortch does nothing. So this is going to be very interesting to see.
You have a bunch of players that either are going to do nothing or ball out.
Yeah, there's no in between. They either boom or bust. It's all of these players. Either
I feel like that's
boom or
kind of
bust.
been the story of the season for us.
Yeah, no, 100%.
We either do really good in the top 10 or
top 10
or nothing. Yeah. So
yeah. So pretty rough week last week. We're bouncing back this week. It's going to be a Thanksgiving Day games. I don't think I got anybody that plays on Thanksgiving either. Which
I don't
is,
either. I don't either.
Which is kind of shocking, which kind of sucks. I wish I did. But, oh well, it is what it is. Those players suck anyway. So
there we go.
There we go. I'm going to toss it over to you and see what I think we're going to do your pick'ems this week.
Well, look, not a bad week. 8-5, couple bad beats. So just going through quickly. The bad beat was the Vikings game. They won by 3.
Yeah.
Need him to cover by 3.5.
That was rough.
The Cowboys winning outright. Never would have thought that. But I'll tell you what, there was 2 games to me that really stood out. Okay. And that was the Panthers-Chiefs game. I called this one for different reasons. I thought this was going to be a low-scoring affair. I thought it was going to be running the ball, low-scoring defensive game. Turned out into kind of a shootout, 30-27. Panthers were at an opportunity. They were in it till the end, but they fought tough and they covered. I mean, this was a massive line. So shout out to the Panthers. They didn't look like a 3-8 team there. Bryce Young has been playing pretty solid since he has been reinstated as a starter. But I was pretty impressed with that one. And then the other one to me was the Eagles and the Rams game on Sunday night. And,
that was beautiful.
We've been talking about Lamar and Derrick Henry all season as these MVP frontrunners, but Saquon might be MVP frontrunner right now, or top 3 MVP voter right now, because
he's got to be.
He just continues to go off, and he ran for 255 yards on Sunday, which is the most in a game in like the last however many years, I think.
Yeah, his last 2 games, he's got over 500 yards of total offense.
Yeah. He's just
and like 5 touchdowns.
He's unstoppable. Granted, it helps with the Eagles having a really good offensive line, but I mean, he's somebody that's got to be in consideration for MVP. He's having a better year than Derrick Henry.
Yeah, he's got to be in the conversation.
Yeah, if it's not a quarterback, you'd think it would have to be him. But yeah, 8-5, so that brings me up to 99 and 80 on the year. So look, we keep spreading the gap of just inching above 500, and we're 18 games out of 500 right now, which is actually pretty happy with that. We're top 15,000 in the world. No complaints here. Rick, how'd you do this last week?
Not great. I went 6-7. I'm slowly losing hope that I'm going to catch up to you.
There's still a lot of games left.
There is still a lot of games left.
There's it only takes 1 week.
Another one of those weeks where you go 1-13 or whatever, like you did one time or whatever it was. There's always the chance that happens. Like you, I had a couple of the bad beats with the Vikings here.
Just like to clarify, it was 3-13, not 1-14. Okay, I didn't get 1 pick right that week. I got 3.
The Cowboys game, that's a bad beat. They should have lost.
Which even if they lost, they wouldn't
Bowl.
have covered. It wouldn't have covered,
Yeah.
so we were screwed anyways.
The Harbaugh Bowl. It was a pretty close game. I think if Quentin Johnson doesn't drop every pass that's thrown to him, it's a different ball game.
Yeah,
I really do think that. I mean, those drops are just deflating. But they showed out. It was a good game. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed watching Saquon run all over the field because I have him in my fantasy team, and for no other reason than that. My fantasy team scored 195 points this week.
Yeah, that is crazy.
He was a big reason why. But another shocking game was the Titans beating the Texans. The Texans have just fallen off a cliff, it seems like. They keep losing.
Yeah.
They've got CJ Stroud's got to bounce back, kind of have a sophomore slump. I mean, they're still 7-5, but
I just
They've
want
been
to
losing
say,
to a lot of bad teams.
if you were to go back and look at episode 1, somebody on this podcast specifically mentioned that they don't think the Texans will have the same year that they did last year, that they don't think CJ Stroud will be as good as he was last year. I'm just saying.
What was
some
their
things-
record last year?
Shit, I don't know, but they're like 12 wins or something like that.
Like, could still get 12 wins.
Yeah, but they don't look as good. They don't pass the eye test. Okay.
Fair enough. But yeah, all in all, not a great week for me. Looking to bounce back. And I think I've got the formula.
All right, and you're
But I'm
that you're 94 and 85 and top
Yeah.
35,000 in the world roughly. So, not
having
too bad.
Having a bad run.
but
Still
look,
I'm still above 500,
Yeah.
which was the goal for the season.
you are in the money if we were to bet every single game.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. But
I like it. But look, we've got some interesting games this week and not a ton of massive spreads. Let's start at the top here. We got the 3 Thanksgiving Day games. Bears, Lions. Lions 11.5. I like the Lions here. The Bears, they kept it close with the Vikings, but that was more so the Vikings' fault. The Lions have shown that they're not going to take it easy on teams. National television, Thanksgiving Day. I expect them to come and ball out. I expect Jahmyr Gibbs to ball out, hopefully. Lions win this one.
that's why
big.
you picked that one. That's why you picked them
Yeah.
there. That
Um,
makes sense.
This is a tough one because both of these teams suck, but I think the Giants suck more, and I think the Cowboys suck, but they're not as bad as we originally
Yeah.
thought. I think that's how they played
Tommy
against.
Tommy Cutlets is the quarterback versus Cooper Rush. I mean,
Yeah,
DeVito was the third string quarterback.
Cooper Rush is one of the best backups in the league, but Micah Parsons, since he's been back from his injury, has been playing really well. And then, also it helps when you have 2 kick return touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I'm not going to kid myself and say the Cowboys' offense is good. They had 10 points going into the fourth quarter, but I think they're better than the Giants. I think the Cowboys win this one, which is worrisome as a Cowboys fan because it's pointless to win games now. We're just making our draft pick worse and increasing the odds that we extend Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
This could be a good game, but Packers are coming off a big win. But I like the Dolphins here. Tua, I saw they showed his stats on Twitter since he came back from his concussion, and they were like, I think Tuscaloosa Tua's back after his concussion.
Yeah,
He's got
I saw that.
12 touchdowns and 2 picks, and he's playing fantastic. So I just like the points here in Green Bay. So, the element's going to be cold, but give me the Dolphins here. Jalen Waddle maybe had his seasonal resurgence last week and hit the ground running with that. I like the Dolphins here. Chiefs will win this game. Don't get me wrong, but 13.5 points is a lot. Chiefs couldn't cover 11.5 against the Panthers last week. Don't know what the Raiders quarterback situation looks like now that Minshew's done, but I don't think it matters.
O'Connell's back this week, but
Chiefs
it doesn't
have
matter.
not been able to blow teams out. So I like the points here. Might look like an asshole if the Chiefs do cover, but you're going to look like a bigger asshole if you don't take the points here. So give me the Raiders. This could be a good game, depending on which teams show up. I think the Chargers, we know what we're going to get with them. They're a Big Ten type of team, defensive, run the ball, be smart with it. The Falcons have shown both sides of dominant contender and shitty.
Yes.
So it really just depends on which Falcons team shows up this week. But I think the Chargers win this regardless. I think they're better coached. I think they have better roster. So give me the Chargers here. This is going to be a good game, actually. Don't let the record of the Bengals reflect you. The Bengals are an exciting team. It's easy to pick the Steelers because the Steelers have actually looked really good, but I like the Bengals here. Steelers coming off that Thursday night loss. Bengals, Joe Burrow's playing like an MVP. Just saying. They were 7-4, 8-3. Joe Burrow would be in the MVP conversation. So the Bengals are starting to run out of time. They have to start winning now. I think this is a good one to get back on. Vikings, Cardinals. I was talking to my dad about this earlier. The Vikings are 9-2, and I don't think they've been more than a touchdown favorite on any team this year, which I also think is completely accurate, because the Vikings under Kevin O'Connell really have not been able to blow teams out. They win games, but they win close games. They can't
grind it out.
They can't win. They can't blow teams out. Granted, I think they cover 3.5 here, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's similar to last week's situation where they win by 3. But I got to take the 3.5. They're a better team. They are hot. They went 4-0 in November, all 4 road games or 3 road games, something like that. So I like the Vikings here. This is not going to be a fun game. You have one team who quarterback can't complete more than 12 passes in a game, but is still exciting. Then you have the Patriots, who are just, I don't know, I think they're kind of boring to watch. Ramondre Stevenson
Not a good team.
Ramondre
Drake May's pretty
Stevenson
good.
should be doing so much more than what he's doing, and he just continues to let me down in fantasy in both of my leagues. So I don't think the Colts are that good, though. I'm taking the Patriots here. This just feels like a Patriots game. You know, Patriots-Colts brings me back to the rivalry of Brady versus Manning. I'm going with the Pats here. Don't love the pick. Just where my heart's at.
Fair enough.
The Jets suck. I don't know if they are. Is Aaron Rodgers done for the season? Is he being put on the IR? Is he even healthy? I'm not really keeping up with the Jets.
Sure.
I'm not sure what the whole Jets situation is, but that team stinks. They already fired their GM. They fired their coach. Not a great team. A lot of things are going wrong there, and they have a lot of money invested into the elderly. 37-year-old left tackle Tyron Smith, Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers. These three guys are on big-ass contracts, and they're all like a year away from retiring. Maybe not Devontae Adams, but they're not young, okay?
Yeah.
Seahawks haven't been that great, actually. They did get a nice win against the Cardinals last week, but they have just looked like a middle-of-the-pack team, but they're still superior to the Jets. I like them here to cover this one. Let's see if Geno can start getting back to how he was last year, you know, that comeback player of the year type candidate, because right now he hasn't been doing it for me this year. I think the Commanders bounce back. Look, Titans are coming off a big win last week. Commanders coming off a big loss. So the Commanders are starting to fall to where they might not make the playoffs. You know, the wild card might be in question for them if they don't start winning some games. So I think they get back on track here. I think they win this one at home, get back in the win column. I had a half a mind to take the Jaguars just because the Texans haven't been good, but the Jaguars just, I don't know how, we say this suck. Like, I think we've said this like every single week. I don't know how Doug Peterson, is still in a job. He should have been fired 6 weeks ago, and he wasn't. Jaguars are bad. It's tank for Travis Hunter time for them.
Pretty much, yeah. Got to.
The Rams, man, just they don't know if they want to be good or they want to be sucky. Granted, it feels like they've played some tough games this year and they've played some tough opponents, but you got to play the schedule in front of you. Kyren Williams started off hot, and then it seems like once Cooper Kupp came back, once Puka came back, they stopped running the ball. They try to start forcing the ball and throwing it, and that doesn't help. You're not wrong, but it also hurts my fantasy team. They need to feed Kyren. The Rams could be a good team.
If they fed Kyren, huh?
If they fed Kyren, yes. So I think that's what they do this week. Saints, they're not good. Give me the Rams here. I think they cover this one, get to 6-6. This was a tough one because the Panthers they lost, but they came off probably their best game of the season against the Chiefs last week. Didn't really check the stat sheet, so I'm not sure how Jonathan Brooks played, but I did see he played, which is cool.
He played 5 snaps.
Okay, well, that's a waste of a draft pick. Should have let Dallas take him. But anyways, Buccaneers, they win this one. They're the better team. They also are falling out of playoff contention. They need to start winning some games. They need to get back positive if they want to be in consideration for the wild card spots. This is probably my game of the week here. Eagles-Ravens. This is a potential Super Bowl matchup right here, actually. You've got the two best running teams in the NFL, the two best running quarterbacks in the NFL, two of the better rosters, well, offensively, defensively. But and I like this game a lot. I think this one comes down to who has the highest of the highs, and I think in this game the Ravens have the best player. I think Lamar Jackson's the best player on the field for both of these teams, followed by a Saquon, then a Derrick Henry. But I like the Ravens here. They came off a good win last week. They they are also neck and neck with the Steelers, where they need to keep winning games if they want to win that division. Hold pace to be, I don't think anybody's going to be able to keep up with the Chiefs. Because the Chiefs, I don't think are going to lose 3 more games. But you still get that 2nd seed, 3rd seed, and the Ravens need to keep winning. I like them here a lot, but this is going to be a really good game. Another one here, this is just going to be an exciting game to watch because it's supposed to be a snow game. I love watching snow games. We got the Bills, 49ers. Not sure if Purdy's going to be back or not, but regardless of if he plays or not, that doesn't change my thing here. Josh Allen is also playing like an MVP candidate. And 49ers just things just aren't going great for them this year. I saw they said somebody on Twitter was like, "Oh, they need to fire Shanahan."
Yeah, I'll
I was
take
like,
him.
"Yeah, do that and let him come to Dallas, please." Or
Yeah,
wherever he would
Dak
go.
to be his quarterback anyway.
Exactly. But the Bills win this one. Doesn't matter who's starting at quarterback for the Niners. And then lastly, Monday Night Football. Here I am taking the Broncos to cover, but I'll tell you what. I'll admit when I'm wrong. Bo Nix has looked great. He's looked really good. He's looking like potential offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, they're 7-5, and a lot of that he's played great. Browns, you don't know really what you're going to get with them. Jameis could come out and put 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, or he could come up with 150 yards and 4 picks. But I think it's going to be on the bad side because the Broncos defense is really good. I like him to win this one. I like him to cover, and my tiebreaker there is 42 points. Yeah,
Interesting.
Some good games this week. Rick,
There's
what do you
a lot
got
of
for
games
us?
this week.
I know
16 games this week.
I know it feels like it was taking forever.
I know. I'll make mine kind of short and sweet because you kind of pretty much hit all the points I was thinking of. Now I may have picked differently just because I think of the point spread, but you pretty much nailed. Yeah, you pretty much nailed what I was going to go for. You said all the correct things here with the Lions and Bears, except you picked the wrong team. Okay. It's a divisional matchup. They're usually close. The Bears, after finding the offensive coordinator, they've looked a whole lot better. Still not winning games, but they've looked better. I think that continues here.
Here's the issue that you're not taking into consideration is their head coach, who said he challenged Jordan Addison catch last week because it was an explosive play. Not because he thought he stepped out of bounds or because he had a different view on it. He said,
I saw that.
It was an explosive play. That's an interesting.
I was like, yeah, that guy's going to get fired.
Yeah, 100%.
What an idiot. He was great when he was the Cowboys linebacker coach, but that was years ago. Terrible. That was so dumb. I agree with you. Cowboys are just better than the Giants. Doesn't matter who the Giants quarterback is at this point. The Cowboys are just better than them, which they should want to lose this game, but they should.
Both of these teams should want to lose this game.
Yeah, they should both want to lose. And I think the Giants are actively trying to lose by cutting their best quarterback with 7 games left in the season.
And the players aren't happy about it. Malik Neighbors is already pissed. He's
calling people out. So, got the Dolphins versus the Packers here. I agree with you. This is going to be a good game, and I'm going to take the Dolphins because of how well Tua has been playing. Jordan Love likes to give away 1 or 2 balls a game. I think he's thrown a pick in every game he started this year.
That's wild.
That trend continues. Dolphins are kind of getting in a groove now that Tua's been back for a few weeks. I project them to win this game outright. I almost went with the Raiders here, but I just feel like Mahomes quietly has played really well the last 5 games.
Yeah.
He's like 12 touchdowns, 3 picks, and just being very efficient. I think Pacheco's coming back this week. I think they've got a new left tackle that they've got into the building that is much superior to who they've got there now in DJ Humphries. I think that's going to shore up that left side of the line. Maybe Pacheco adds a spark. They got a 2 running back system now. I don't know. I just got a feeling that they're going to explode this week and just absolutely annihilate the Raiders because the Raiders are trash. And the Raiders are trying to get
I'll believe it when I see it.
So I'm gonna fade you there. I agree with what you said, though. That's way too many points. But I just got a feeling. It's a gut feeling. I don't know why. Also going to fade you on this one. I think the Falcons might win this game outright. Chargers came off a big loss. Falcons haven't looked good in a few weeks. It's about they have to nut up or shut up, or they're not going to. The Buccaneers are on their tail.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have to kind of kick it into gear. The Chargers aren't going to catch the Steelers, or not the Steelers, the Chiefs, but they're going to get into the wild card with their record. Falcons are going to have to do something more. They're not going to make it. So they've got to start winning these games that they're kind of close.
It's actually crazy that they're still winning the division at 6-5. That's such a bad division.
Yeah, it's been a bad division for years. But Kirk's got to put something together this week. Maybe I can't remember if they had a bye this past week.
I think so, yes.
I think they did. So maybe that got Drake London's hip a little healthier because he'd been dealing with a hip pointer. They've had a lot of time to prepare for this game. Chargers are on a short week playing on Monday. All that points to the Falcons winning.
Fair enough.
Maybe. I want to take the Steelers here. I think that defense is just too good.
Fade me on everything.
Just the defense is too good. They're going to hit a deep ball to George Pickens. They're going to be able to run the ball on the Bengals. The Bengals defense is atrocious. This will probably be a high scoring game, but I'm going to take the Steelers. I just got faith in them.
All right.
And this is another one of those gut feelings. The Vikings are going to win this game.
Okay.
But they're going to win it by 1 to 3 points.
So this is your first time not picking the Vikings all year.
It is. They're going to win this game, but for some reason, they're just not going to do what they're supposed to do. Win by more than 4 points.
They're gonna make it difficult.
They're going to make it difficult. Something's going to happen. Something stupid will happen. They'll forget JJ is on the team, and they'll win by 3 points. And it'll be I just know if I pick the Vikings, they would win by 3, and it'd be a bad beat. So I'm just going to fade that because it feels like that happens to me every time I pick the Vikings on a 3-point or 3.5 point game.
The ops now.
I don't know. Yeah. Now watch it be the jinx that gets them to win by like 40.
Love that. Love that.
I wouldn't be shocked. I'd be okay with that, but I don't know. Something tells me it's gonna be a 3-point victory for the Vikings. I'm taking the Colts over the Patriots. I think the Patriots aren't trying to win games either.
Yeah.
They need some weapons. I think they're trying to get in that McMillan play and get them a nice 6'5"
franchise
receiver,
quarterback, a nice stud receiver to throw to.
Yeah, or one of the top tackles, because I mean they need pretty much every position on offense. Their offensive line is terrible. So I think the Colts are going to win this game. And Anthony Richardson has played well the last few weeks. I mean, maybe not great, just well.
Like well done.
Which, I mean, yeah, well, that sucks. I agree. Speaking of well done, Aaron Rodgers' career well done. Some people are saying Mike McCarthy may be one of the greatest coaches of all time since he was able to win a Super Bowl with that bum.
Oh shit!
He does not look good.
Don't let Jerry Jones hear that.
He came out and said it this week. Not exactly that, but he was talking about how he might re-sign Mike McCarthy, and I just vomited a little bit thinking about that. But Jets are cooked. They're done. I don't know where they go from here. Fired the coach, fired GM. Quarterback's not going to be there next year because there's no way he comes back to this team. They're way too far away.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if he's going to play next year. He may play as the Jeopardy host or something, but they're cooked. They're done. Commanders should win this game outright. They need to put it on them. They need to bounce back. They've lost like 3 or 4 straight. Went from 7-2 to 7-5. They've got to win some games, try and keep it close to stay in the playoff picture. I almost picked the Jaguars too, except the Jaguars just suck too bad. I can't bring myself to pick them, so I'm gonna stick with the Texans here as well. Rams just way better than the Saints. Keep it short and sweet. But you are right. The Rams don't know if they want to be good or bad. I think they choose to be good this week.
Fair enough. Can't hate
Panthers Bucks. I just got a feeling Baker's going to cook them. It's going to be like a 40-14 game or something like that. Mike Evans is going to go off for about 200 and something yards because he's got to hit 1,000 or we riot. Like you said, game of the week. I'm taking the Eagles. I think they've got the better team, top to bottom. Offensive line's better weapons, better running back, better defense,
better pizza.
Papa John's. They got better cheesesteaks.
But who has the better coach?
Oh, without a doubt, Harbaugh's better than Sirianni. Sirianni's a doofus. He's lucked into fucking a Super Bowl appearance.
Who do you think is
wins.
the best player in that game?
Lamar's the best player in the game. But then I think it goes Saquon, Henry, and then a long list of Eagles, and then the next Ravens player.
Fair. Well, Justin Tucker. He's up there.
He has not played well this year at all.
I know, but
he's like 75% on field goals, which is not good. He's year 13. It's catching up to him. He blamed it on the turf against the Steelers when the other guy went 6 for 6.
Well, that guy was used to the turf.
But the game of the week, I think the Eagles win outright.
Okay.
Bills Niners. Bills should just kick the crap out of them, whether or not Brock Purdy plays or not. Bills are a much better team. Josh Allen's a much better player than Brock Purdy or whoever they're going to have playing. Niners look lost this year. It's bound for them to have a regression year. They'll come back stronger next year with a couple higher draft picks, and they'll probably be back in the mix next year. But just bad year for them. Had too many injuries, too many problems. Better luck next year. And I agree with you. Sean Payton and Bo Nix have been putting the league on notice that they got next. It's just going to take them a long time to get there. They may have next in about 5 years or so. But the defense is great. They just got to get a few more pieces on offense.
Big
I think
time
they'll be
points also, 52.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a high scoring game on the Broncos side. They're going to score like 38, 40, and the Browns are going to score like 14.
I'll tell you what,
38 to 14 is my score.
We have a lot of different picks this week.
I've got to try and catch up somehow. I'm going outside the box.
This is going to be a big make or break week for you.
Yeah, hopefully you go 0-16.
Well, I don't think that's possible. I hope it's not possible. I think I have a good week. I think you have a week again. Hey, look, if I keep going 8-5, something like that, perfectly happy.
Yeah.
No complaints on my end.
Yeah,
but,
if you go 8-5, I just won't catch up.
I'm excited. You got any big plans for Turkey Day coming up, Thanksgiving?
Oh, just gonna go hang out with the family. I think all my brothers and sisters are gonna come in town to my parents' house. And
smoking up a turkey, or how you cooking one?
My dad's gonna have one smoking by the time I get there. Hopefully, it should be.
You like smoked turkey
by the time I get there?
More than like regular, like fried or baked? I love a good fried turkey.
It depends. I know. You know what? If you take a turkey, you smoke it first, and then you fry it. Game changer.
See, I might be in the minority here, but I'm a ham guy. That's what I'm doing myself.
I like ham too.
I think ham. You could microwave ham and it's gonna be good. That's not what I'm doing, cooking in the oven. But you could microwave a ham and it would be good.
So you're gonna make yourself some Turkey Day food and all that?
Yeah, I might make it tomorrow. Actually, give myself a heads up. That way I can have my leftovers because I go out of town for a bachelor party this weekend. So I got to kind of make sure I have all the fixings and stuff and I can eat. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for our Thursday games. We got 3 of them this week. I think it's going to be a good week. I think we got some good games.
Yep. And the biggest thing that happened this week is the new computer.
Exactly.
RIP to this one. It served me well. It didn't blow up. On to the next.
Exactly. Looking forward to it. Hope everybody that's watching has a very happy Thanksgiving. We appreciate all of y'all. Y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all next time. Cheers.